very good. Welcome. This is the Red Hook Town Board meeting of August 13th, 2019. Would you be kind enough and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Hopefully through the miracles of technology we can show the folks at home the agenda for tonight. Steve, if you'd be kind enough to pan over to the big screen. We have two public hearings this evening. 4 agenda items that we may take action on, and the next 2, 5, and 6 are for discussion only. Okay, very good. So it is the first meeting of the month, and for every first meeting, we start with the supervisor's report. In your packets, your monthly financials for the folks at home. This is a snapshot of the financial condition of your town. And we have for the period ending July 31st. We started with an opening balance of $8,405,000, receipts of $382,000, disbursements of $481,000, with an ending balance of $8,307,345.80. During the course of this month, we did receive a quarterly sales tax revenue check of $93,142. That's slightly greater than expected for the quarter. Otherwise, not too much of note. Harry, we did receive our Community Preservation Fund check, another one just the other day for $22,000 and change, as a matter of fact.
In addition to this?
In addition to what's on there, yeah. And I think Ann has started to do a calculation for you in particular. Harry, let's see. Here we go.
That's all right, I'll see you next month.
Yeah, and so that's the balance of $1,451,000 in the CPF fund. We'll be discussing CPF funds tonight. We have some minor adjustments prepared by Ann Conway, our bookkeeper, as part of our packet. The most notable being reimbursements and some additional expense moving from one line to another in the recreation budgets for our summer rec program. Our rec program this year was different. We expanded it. We expanded the hours. We hope we made your lives a little easier if you are a parent or a grandparent or just a caregiver. But we'd love to have some feedback on the program and the changes. So do let us know. All right. So are there any questions about the monthly financial? If not, is there a motion to accept the supervisor's report?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
And for these very few budget adjustments, is there a motion to approve those?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye, thank you very much. And we also have the clerk's report. Sue?
Town Clerk Monthly Report for July 2019.
Total local shares remitted to supervisor as town revenue, $1,202.54. Amount remitted to New York State Ag and Markets for their spade and neuter program, $47. Amount remitted to New York State Department of Health for marriage licenses, $22.50. Amount remitted to New York State Environmental Conservation, $393.96, for a total state and local revenue of $1,666. Pursuant to Section 27, Sub 1 of the Town Law, I hereby certify that the foregoing is a full and true statement of all fees and monies received by me, Sue McCann, Town Clerk, Town of Red Hook, during the period stated above in connection with my office.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much, Sue. Is there a motion to accept the clerk's report?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Okay, we can transition right into our first public hearing, and I should tell you it deals with the proposed acquisition of the former St. Sylvia's parcels. That's the church, the rectory, and the parking lot. And we're not going to take any action tonight on that. We are still in negotiations, and I'm happy to say those negotiations are going quite well with the Archdiocese. And the church has been very accommodative. As you all know, the Tivoli Fire Company suffered a loss with the firehouse. The fire inside the house started within a truck, actually. And the church has granted use of a portion of the rectory for offices for the time being until repairs can be made to the building. They are erecting, by the way, if you drive by the parking lot in Tivoli and you're wondering what's happening there, there's a temporary structure that's being constructed there where the equipment will be housed until the repairs are made to the existing fire station. So we want to let you know that, and the church is still continuing to negotiate with us exclusively, and we've gone down a list of things to be kept on the properties, a list of things that the church would like to take with them because they are religious artifacts. So it's taken a little while, but things are going quite well, and we do appreciate their patience and yours. Okay, that said, we have a public hearing notice. Sue?
Notice of continued public hearing regarding the proposed acquisition of former St. Sylvia's parcels. Please take notice that a continued public hearing will be held by the Town Board of the Town of Red Hook on August 13th, 2019 at 7:35 p.m. local time at the Town Hall, 7340 South Broadway, Red Hook, New York, to hear all interested persons regarding the acquisition of real property for the following parcels for the public purposes of an enhancement of recreational programs, expansion of community facilities, and preserving historic resources. Tax parcel 134-803-6175-1838-5028, which is 104 through 108 Broadway in Tivoli. Tax parcel 134-803-6175-1838-3052, Broadway in Tivoli. And tax parcel 134-803-6175-18-404-054, which is 93 Broadway in Tivoli. Reputed owner, Church of St. Sylvia, which parcels have been offered for sale to the public pursuant to authorization of the Archdiocese of New York. At the continued public hearing, the town shall outline the purpose of the public project and its effect on the environment, including the economic, ecological, and social effect upon the community, and any other information, including maps and descriptions of the property to be acquired. All persons having an interest in the project are invited to attend the hearing and give oral and written statements and to submit other documents concerning the public purpose of the proposed acquisition. This hearing is held pursuant to the provisions of Section 201 and 202 of the Eminent Domain Procedural Law of New York. Property owners who may subsequently wish to challenge the condemnation of their property via judicial review may do so only on the basis of issues, facts, and objections raised at such hearing. All interested persons will be given an opportunity to be heard in person or by directing comments in writing to the Town Board, 7340 South Broadway, Red Hook, New York. All reasonable accommodations will be made for persons with disabilities. In such a case, please notify the town clerk in advance at the above address or by phone 845-758-4606 so that arrangements can be made. Please take further notice that tax maps of the properties are available for review at the office of the town clerk, Red Hook Town Hall, 7340 South Broadway, Red Hook, New York. By order of the Town Board of the Town of Red Hook, dated June 26, 2019, Sue Town Clerk, Town of Red Hook. And as always, it was published in the Poughkeepsie Journal, posted at the Town Hall, published on our website, and emailed to the two villages.
Very good, thank you very much, Sue. At this time, I'd like to open the public hearing. Would somebody like to make some comments on this topic? Okay, very good. We do have later on this evening a resolution to extend the public hearing to September 25th. So we'll take that up. We'll keep this public hearing open until then. All right, announcements. So just a couple of announcements for the folks at home. It's probably too late for the folks in the audience tonight. We want to remind you that our combined Tivoli and Red Hook fire companies are celebrating their 100th anniversaries this weekend. They've been working very hard on the plans. There are going to be something like 42 companies from the area marching with them in the county convention parade. So I just want to remind folks, Friday there's a celebration, a pre-celebration if you will, 6 p.m. With food trucks at the firehouse here in Red Hook. Saturday the festivities start at 2 o'clock, but if you're looking for the parade, that starts at 5 o'clock, and that goes from Middle School over to Park Avenue and down to Firehouse Lane over to the Red Hook Fire Station. And that's 5 p.m. There will be fireworks Saturday night. I don't know what time those will be. They sort of play it by ear, if you will. Saturday night. Okay, good. Hardscrabble, we want to let you know, Saturday, September 21st, the band, everybody wants to know who the band is. It's John Waite is the performer. Many of you will know him for some of his hits he had back in the 80s, 90s, something like that. Okay, we're always acknowledging the many talented folks in our community, those who make achievements. There are too many to do that, so we apologize, but I thought just to keep things a little interesting tonight, we would acknowledge one unusual one, which is a 16-year-old Red Hook resident, Daniel Rose Levine, recently broke the world record in solving the Rubik's Cube with his feet. 16.9 seconds, in case you were wondering. And interestingly enough, apparently he was doing it with his feet because he started developing sort of a repetitive issue when he was doing it with his hands, of which his record is 5.3 seconds with his hands. So I thought that would be an interesting little tidbit for you at your next gathering. So congratulations, Daniel, on breaking the world record for solving something I can't even do. Okay, we are right at that point, 7:45 for the next public hearing. This is on the Winnicke Land Trust Sawkill project under the town's Community Preservation Fund program. And we do have a couple of folks from Winnicke with us tonight. And I will put up on the screen, if you've been following the meetings for the last few years, you know that Winnicke has applied for monies to acquire a significant amount of property, what we commonly refer to over on the west side here as the remaining Linden Acres lands. Many of those acres border the Sawkill. In addition, they're acquiring the remainder of what the town purchased back in 2007. Our recreational park extension area is over here. And so they received a grant from the state for water protection. And over the years, there has been a lot of discussion about creating trails from one part of the community to another. And to show you how far back that goes. So here's the open space plan. Back in 1999, the town was looking at creating trails through there along the Hudson, the Saltkill, as part of their trail projects. You see the red line here, these red lines here. So that's, I think, 1999. The work dates back into the 90s there. And so this project sort of complements the work over the years that many of the folks have done in the community, many volunteers. And so what we are looking at is partnering with Winnicke with some matching funds and an easement to provide for trail usage. And that recreational usage is something that the Community Preservation Fund can provide those dollars. So let's see, and here is, just to give you some context, this is also part of that recreational park west portion, and the trail, which is not fully articulated now because it really depends on the ground situation, will come off of Linden and go through the multimodal and the parking and then make its way over here into those other properties that we just saw. So I'll go back to the main screen. And Sue, if you'd be kind enough to read the notice on this public hearing.
Notice of public hearing regarding Winnicke Land Trust, Inc., Sawkill Project, under the town's Community Preservation Fund Program, Town of Red Hook. Please take notice that concurrent public hearings will be held by the Town Board of the Town of Red Hook on August 13th, 2019 at 7:45 local time at the Town Hall, 7340 South Broadway, Red Hook, New York, pursuant to Town's Community Preservation Fund, the CPF program, to hear all interested persons regarding the acquisition of an interest or right in real property to preserve open space pursuant to Section 247 of the General Municipal Law, including the purchase of contractual rights necessary to achieve purposes of such provisions for each of the projects described below. With respect to each of the projects described below, the town's project partner, Winnicke Land Trust, Inc., has a grant agreement for 80% match funding for acquisition costs under a Department of Environmental Conservation Water Quality Improvement Program grant. The town's share is not to exceed 20% of the acquisition costs plus estimated additional project-related costs, and is proposed to be financed from the Community Preservation Fund program. Royal Joy, Inc. Applications submitted by Winnicke Land Trust, Inc. for acquisition of a conservation easement and public access easement proposed to be held by the Town of Red Hook with respect to an approximately 246.63 acre parcel of property. Tax map ID number 617300847544, and approximately 0.17 acre parcel of property. Tax map 617300980322, located on Route 9G, Aspinwall, Kelly, and Wellsback Road, Town of Red Hook, Dutchess County, New York. The total project cost, including proposed program partner funding, is estimated not to exceed $811,582, with the town's share estimated not to exceed $176,786. Miglarelli and Leone. Application submitted by Winnicke Land Trust, Inc. for acquisition of a conservation easement and public access easement proposed to be held by the town of Red Hook with respect to approximately 89-acre parcel of property. Tax map number 6273000192222 and approximately 0.58 acre parcel of property. Tax map ID 617316946326, located on and to the rear of Aspinwall Road to Rec Park West, Town of Red Hook, Dutchess County, New York. The total project cost, including proposed program partner funding, is estimated not to exceed $415,943, with the town's share estimated not to exceed $96,013. All interested persons will be given an opportunity to be heard in person or by directing comments in writing to the town board, 7340 South Broadway, Red Hook, New York. All reasonable accommodations will be made for persons with disabilities. In such a case, please notify the town clerk in advance at the above address or by phone 845-758-4606 so that arrangements can be made. Please take further notice that copies of said applications are available for review at the office of the town clerk, Red Hook Town Hall, 7340 South Broadway, Red Hook, New York, by order of the town board, the town of Red Hook, dated August 2nd, 2019, Sumacam, town of Red Hook, and that was published in the Poughkeepsie Journal, posted on our town web, posted at the town hall, and emailed to the two villages.
Good, thank you very much, Sue. And Sue was referring to this property here, Rural Joy, and then this property here, the Miglarelli Leone. And the town's portion of the match would be approximately $275,000 if you add those two numbers that she mentioned together, and would provide for public access in the form of trails, passive recreation. And so, and it would further limit any development on that property, on those properties. So that's the subject of tonight's public hearing. Would somebody like to make some comments? Okay. Very good. Well, we do have a note for the record that we have a memorandum from the CPF Advisory Board. That's Marianne Johnson chairs. They review the applications. They sent over a memo with a recommendation for approval, and we want that to be part of the record. We also have some written comments sent to us. We also would like to make that a part of the record. Okay, at this time, I think we'll vote a motion to close the public hearing. Okay, so moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? If not, all in favor? Aye. Thank you very much. All right, we covered announcements. Any general public comments anybody would like to make before we get started on tonight's agenda? All right, we're going to go right into item number 1, and that is a resolution to extend, hopefully for the last time, the public hearing on the acquisition of the former St. Sylvia's. And that is for a date in September. And that would be resolution number
86.
86. Thank you very much. Establishing a date for a continued public hearing regarding the proposed acquisition of former St. Sylvia's. And so if you would be kind enough to fill in your blank for September 25 at 7:35. And I so move. Is there a second?
Second.
Oops.
Sarah, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you very much. Okay, the second item on the agenda is a brief one. We went out to bid for sealing and striping the parking lot here. so we can maintain it and get as much longevity out of our new parking lot as possible. And so we had a couple of bids, and we have a recommendation from our purchasing manager, and that is to award the project to
Seal and stripe.
Seal coating and striping.
and striping. It's Seal and Stripe. Seal and Stripe is the name of the company.
Seal
that's-
Stripe.
Yep. And that is resolution number 87. The winning bid was for $9,000. And at this time, I'd like to let you know that we are going to close Town Hall Fair Week Friday, that's August 23rd, so we could accommodate this activity. We've already spoken to the vendor, and they are available to do the work that weekend, so the entire weekend. Town Hall parking lot will be off limits, so we can do the work. And that is resolution number 87, awarding the contract to Seal and Stripe in the amount of $9,000. And I so move.
Second.
Okay. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. We have some more administrative business to conduct with the Tradition Development there on Old Farm Road, and it just relates to authorizing the execution of a street lighting authority order for phases 2 and 3. The developer would like to begin phases 2 and 3. And so we've got resolution number 88.
And the one thing I would note for the board is that we've asked Central Hudson to correct the order. The list of lights is correct, but the reference has to Consolidated Lighting District, but this is Hoffman Lighting District. As you might recall, we created a separate district for that, so, all right.
We'll calling it Hoffman or Tradition, right?
Well, the lighting district is called
Oh,
Hoffman,
Hoffman is
so,
what we did.
we can say
Okay.
now
Okay.
Traditions, but whatever.
Okay. So that's a motion on 88 and a second, I believe. Did we have a second?
Second.
I don't move.
I
I don't
did.
think it was moved.
Oh, well, I
Robert
will.
intends to.
Okay, Robert.
I will, please. Thank you, sir.
Mary second?
Yes.
Thank you, Mary.
Just don't feel that way.
Any further discussion?
Yeah.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank
Aye.
you very much.
Thank you both.
Okay, item number 4 is a resolution to approve the trailhead agreement. And so we're going back again to that project, working with Winnicke Land Trust. They applied for and received a Greenway grant. And it's a matching grant, and so the town ordained to match the funds, and it's for the development of a trailhead and for trailhead parking. And it's matching $75,000 each.
This is
for-
a completely separate project from the one we just had a public hearing about. I mean, they're related, but it's separate.
Exactly right. Separate but related, exactly right, Sarah, thank you for clarifying. And so, we do have a proposed trailhead agreement, so that we can do the work and apportion the costs associated with that work. And so you've had the agreement, I think, since last meeting, and now we have a resolution here approving an agreement with Winnicke Land Trust regarding reimbursement of costs of trailhead project from Greenway Grant. That is resolution number 89, and I'll read it for the folks at home. It's the town board of the town of Red Hook has determined that entering an agreement with Winnicke Land Trust in substantially the form on file with the town clerk the agreement, whereas the Conservancy for the Hudson River Valley entered into and Winnicke entered into an MOU, we call a Memorandum of Understanding, dated September 12th, 2018, just so folks have an idea of how long this all takes. Sometimes it takes several years. Whereas pursuant to the grant agreement, Greenway will provide Winnicke up to $75,000 in funds for payment of certain services performed and expenditures approved for the Saltkill Red Hook Trailhead project, and this is primarily construction of the trailhead and the parking. Pursuant, we talked about $75,000, be it resolved that the town of Red Hook is authorizing the supervisor to sign this agreement. And who would like to move resolution 89?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any further discussion? You have your breakdown of dollars and materials.
Oh, where's that? Oh, I see.
Yeah,
Okay.
on that page there.
Right, so we're doing, wait, we do 75?
The match.
And then-
Did we do a 75? They
And
do
then
a
they have
75.
right, okay. That's
So
what I
total
thought, but I just-
$150,000.
Right, okay.
All right.
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Excited.
It is pretty exciting. And we thank everyone who's worked on this project. Okay, number 5. So these are our discussion items because we still need something back from the planning board on a referral. As it turns out, this project, even though it's just acquisition, it dips ever so slightly into the LWRP area, so there's an LWRP referral to the planning board. But we can just take a look at, for discussion tonight, some resolutions, our environmental review. So we looked at part 1, if I'm not mistaken, last meeting, correct?
I think the last meeting, we received the EAF,
Right,
right.
Yeah, like a
Okay.
correction on it.
We didn't spend time on it, but we received it.
we did
right.
receive it, okay, so we've looked at it.
Because
But
we
let's go through
circulated
it.
it.
Let's go through it, shall we?
There was one that had like turtles had been found.
That's right, we made that last minute
Those were noted.
notes on there, thank
So
you.
that's already on file, but we'll
Yeah.
need to review it, obviously.
Yeah, so we circulated government approvals. It's within a coastal area. And of course, as I just mentioned, it's within LWRP. There are other approvals. Is it consistent with our adopted plans? Yes, it is, obviously, the protection of open space and water resources. Which districts are listed? Is it allowed? Of course it's allowed. Zoning change requested? No, not necessary. Total acreage of the action is acquisition of 336 acres. Not a subdivision. No new residential uses or construction. Will not generate liquid wastes.
For our next meeting, when we're ready to review this, Michelle will provide an LWRP form, so we will review that as well at that time.
So we actually approving this EAF?
Not tonight.
No, we're
Yeah,
just
the-
reviewing.
We're just reviewing it. I thought since we
Right.
have a little time
Answer
this evening,
questions.
Sure.
shorter meeting.
Looks good to me.
We have coastal assessment form draft. there any questions? I know you're all very familiar with the project. Did anybody have any questions while we have the folks from Winnicke here? No? Okay, and then,
One last quick question.
Sure.
Just for fun.
Yeah.
I remember seeing like a really early, like mock-up of what you might do. But when will we kind of see the real plan of what the trail might look like and, you know, all that kind of stuff? Do you have a sense for that or not yet?
Not yet.
Okay. Just asking you the questions that people ask us in the grocery store, so that's why.
That's still a little bit further.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
we had some iterations, that were back
Right, yeah, I remember early stuff.
on the ground of conditions, of course,
Sure.
take you wherever, as you know, like the
Yeah.
streams themselves.
Mhm.
So,
They will need to consider in particular DEC's constraints for their matching grant to the project, requires protection of the water source. And so that's something they're gonna have to think about as they're thinking about a suggested plan.
Okay.
yeah, we're unfortunately a little ways off on mapping that.
Right, so this grant was just for actual acquisition of the land and it's not for trail construction, right? Yeah.
That's right. It's been acknowledged that they did receive some funds for trail construction for the second phase of this project. Okay, so obviously we won't be taking up the resolution to approve the use of monies for the project, though we have been working towards it for quite some time. We'll leave that to our next meeting.
So we could leave all these papers in our packet if we want to,
Please
right?
do.
That way Jack
Yes.
doesn't have to read
Please
copy
do.
That
that.
would be great.
Yeah.
And then we'll take it up. You'll have it.
Well, we have almost set a record here tonight, which is okay. Unfortunately, we do have to have a very quick attorney-client session. So before I make that motion, I'd like to thank you all for coming and the folks at home. Again, if you want to find out more about what's going on in your government, you can go to www.redhook.org. Sign up for Notify Me on the top there. Any topics that you're interested in finding out more about, we can send you emails or texts to let you know when something's on the agenda or something happening related to that topic. So thanks again for joining us. At this time, I'd like to make a motion to move into attorney-client. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you again.
Thanks, guys.
Gentlemen, thank you very much.
Thanks.
So what did George show up?